Hey guys, welcome back to Comic Book Corner, and this is your host Spider Slayer. Sorry guys, we are in the living room today because I got lots of clothes to wash, so the washing machine is going and I didn't want all that noise in the video, so we're doing it in the living room today. But with that being said, we are going to be doing The Walking Dead Rewind, and we are going to be doing issue number 3, guys. That's right. In our last issue, we had Rick, and we had Lori, and we had Carl reunited for the first time after Rick has been in search for his family. So going back to this issue, it will be a real treat because you get to meet all the camp members, and it's just funny to see how naive all the characters are. They have these false hopes that, you know, the world is going to come back to the way it was, and just all these crazy things, and it's just so funny how optimistic they are about everything. But in this issue, we get to see a lot. Like, if you're a first-time reader for this book, it's like totally character overload. And this is what happened for me when I first read The Walking Dead. I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to follow all these characters? But since the book is so well written, it's very easy to follow the characters, and Kirkman obviously did a wonderful job with this series in doing it. But in this issue, we get to see main appearances now by a lot of characters, and just go down the road, no particular order. So the first thing we get to see is we get to see Shane, and you can see his comparison to the show here. And Tony Moore does the arts in this book at this time, and you can see how he looks. And intense looking character. Love the way he was drawn in this at this particular time in the book. So we see Shane, we see Donna, and I don't have a other picture of her because I don't think she was in the show. I could be wrong. We also see her husband Alan, who is a moocher. He goes after supplies and stuff like that that Glenn has brought to the camp. It's pretty funny. And we also get to see, let's see, who else can I find? Oh, Sophia. Yeah, we all remember Sophia, right? So we get to see her for the first time, which is pretty cool. And we all remember what happens to her. You know, she becomes some crazy zombie. And we also see her mother, Carol, and you can see the two of them together here in the show and then in the comic. So you get to see Carol and Sophia. Let's see, I also get to see Andrea. We meet Andrea for the first time. So here is her comparison from the comic to the show. So we meet her, and we also meet, let's see, who else is there? Dale. We meet old man Dale, which now he is gone in the show, but he's alive and well in the comic. So if you guys are fans of Dale, you can always read the comic. Jim. We all remember Jim, the man that got bit by the zombie and basically just got left behind by the camp. So we got Jim there. And last but not least, there's one more. And then there's Amy. We all remember Amy because this is what happened to her in this particular issue when I come to it. And that's what happens to her in the show. So same thing, she gets bit by the zombie and then she dies, and you can see that she basically eventually comes back as a zombie. So I think I hit up on all the camp members that we run into in this issue. I'm pretty sure of it. So that's the characters that we walk into, and as a first-time reader you're kind of overloaded by all these characters, but the story flows nicely, and it's a slow introduction to the character and as things build up. So in the beginning of the issue here, we can see that Lori and Rick and Carl are reunited for the first time, and then Rick is like, "Holy crap, Shane, it's you! Oh my God, I can't believe you made it!" And it's like all happy, and you know, Rick is saying, "Thank you. How can I ever repay you?" And he's like, "Oh, no problem. You know, you should never mentioned it. I should have never let you get shot like that." And what happened is Glenn and Rick come back from town, and Glenn gets supplies, and we can see that, you know, Alan with the beard is sitting there asking Glenn for all of the supplies. And there on top of the old RV, we get to see Dale for the first time. So we meet Dale, and then as the characters are introduced, we see Amy and Andrea come out. They're there for the first time, coming out of the RV, coming from college. And then we get to see Donna, and oh yeah, that's who I forgot. It's the twins. I forgot the little twins. They make an appearance right there too. So that's the first time you get to see them, and it does a nice introduction. And then Rick and Lori, it's nice to see them reunited again, and Donna just takes Shane away and says, "Oh, those two got lots to catch up on." So as the story goes along, you got Rick and Lori just discussing everything that happened, and it's basically, it's Lori saying that we're a group and we're here to defend this place until the government comes, and it's just like Rick never had a specific moment to think about what's going on, because he said, "I've been through so much the past couple of days." He goes, "I haven't had a chance to be scared," because Lori was asking him, you know, "Why are you shaking so much?" And he's just sitting there freaking out, you know, going, "I can't believe this is happening right now." So as the story goes along, you just see the whole, you know, you see the family sleeping, which is nice, and you can see Rick here, who is very happy that he's just reunited with his family and touches his wife for the first time. And as they wake up, Shane comes out and he says, "Well, let's go, Rick. You know, we're going to go hunting today." So that's what the boys do. They're going to go hunting, and the ladies are going to go washing the clothes. But right away, before that happens, Rick is in the RV, and Dale's just sitting there going, you know, Shane's a good guy and this and that, and he's done everything for this group, but he goes, he's got eyes for your wife, and he goes, "I wouldn't trust him around my wife," you know. So he's just telling Rick, you know, watch out, you know, he's got feelings for Lori. He's just like, whatever, you know, he kind of just blows it off. And as Rick comes out of the RV, you can see that they're laughing and having a good time. And then Rick is just sitting there going, he just says, "Crazy old man," you know, and he's just like, whatever. So he kind of just blows it off at this point, because it's just like, oh, they just got reunited, he saved his family's life, and this and that. So as time goes on, the group at this time, again, is just so optimistic. They're just like happy, even though they know what's going on. They feel, oh, there's only a couple of them wandering around here and there, and you know, they're going hunting and they're washing clothes, and you know, Carol and Donna and Lori go out and they're gonna go to the river here and wash the clothes, and it's just funny. And it's just like, you know, Donna's kind of fickle about everything, because she's just sitting there going, well, you know, what is it with you people? You get excited over a detergent and this and that, and you know, Lori's just trying to look at a positive outlook on things. And as the story goes, you get to see Sophia and Carl, sorry, just playing along with each other, and you know, Sophia's saying, "Oh, I wish my daddy would come back too," and he just says, "Ain't your daddy dead?" And you know, and Sophia's like, "Well, I thought your daddy came back, so I thought mine would too," and that was kind of a sad thing there for an instance. So as the group, you know, as Rick and Shane are going hunting, they come across a zombie eating a deer. And these two actually contemplated for a second about actually taking this deer and eating it. But then as the discussion comes along, they're like, I'm not eating the deer that this thing is, you know, been eating. You don't know what kind of diseases it happens or what it has. And so here and back at the river, we see Lori, Donna, and Carol discussing on how Rick met and things like that. So it's basically soap opera stuff right now. And a little in the distance, as they're starting to head back to camp, we see another zombie. And all of a sudden, he's coming across, and they don't see him, and they don't see him. And Alan's like, "Look out!" And then they're starting to scream and panic, and they're like, "Ah!" Screaming like a bunch of girls like they are. And then Alan's like, "Move, Donna!" And all of a sudden, "Damn it, move!" And this is the action part. And then good old Dale, slice, that's right, off with the head with the axe. And then, you know, Donna's like, "Oh my God, you saved my life." And he's like, "Don't mention it." And the kids come running to Lori and Donna. And they're all like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did it." So this is like all brand new for them at this point. And they realize that the zombie at this point is still alive because the brain hasn't been shot. And they're just like, "Oh my God, it's still alive." So funny, man. And Rick and Shane are sitting there just examining this zombie. And all of a sudden, he finally notices them because he's been going to town on this deer. And he's starting to come up to him. He's like, "Oh!" And then you see him polishing the axe. And then all of a sudden, they hit him with the axe. And then you hear blam! And they're like, "Oh my God, the camp!" So here comes Rick and Shane. They're coming to walk. And then he's like, "Lori!" She comes running up to him. And she's like, "Oh my God, it was awful." And it's like the first zombie kill of the series, really, and it was like the worst thing ever. And they're basically taking the zombie out of the woods, and then it's just like Rick there is now taking care of Lori, and he's like, "Everything is okay now, hon." And we can see in the distance that Shane is watching, and here in the first instance, we focus on Shane's reaction, and he's like, "What now?" So that obviously sets up the story to continue for Shane and his insane craziness. But that's the end of issue 3. So this issue, there was a lot involved with all the characters. You got to touch on them a little bit. Character development, see how Rick and Lori were introduced. You're starting to see Shane. You're starting to see all the little characters and the seeds planted and things like that. So it was a great issue for character development. And what happens next, it just continues to get more and more and more intense. So that is your walkthrough for issue number 3 of The Walking Dead. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, this is a lot for the fans who have never read the comic and want to follow the comic without buying it until season 3 starts on the show. And again, my goal is to complete 86 reviews or walkthroughs of this series because I have issues 87 through 94 already on YouTube if you guys have not watched it yet. So, with that being said, that is the end. Until the next comic book review, this is Spider Slayer signing off, and look forward to my Walking Dead review issue 95. Should be up either today, which is Thursday, or it would be up sometime tomorrow, Friday afternoon, just depending on the time that I have. So look forward to that as well. Alright guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.